Ram 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 Bhajeham Bhajeham Bhaje Ram Namam Bhajeham Bhajeham Bhaje Ram Namam Bhajeham Bhajeham Bhaje Ram Namam Bhajeham Bhajeham Bhaje Ram Namam.
Thank you, children, for that lovely rendition. Coming up next is the inaugural address by Chief Mentor of Veranda Club, Coimbatore, former head and L&T, Coimbatore, now retired, Sri Sundar Ramachandran. Over to you, sir.
Good morning. It gives me great pleasure to address all of you. It's a beautiful campus here for young children, and it reminds me of my alma mater in Ahmedabad. First off, I would like to thank all the distinguished participants here who have come all the way from Hyderabad, Bangalore, so on, to grace our small function. I belong to a generation, I belong to two generations before the children here. Our generation had a lot of constraints. Our generation had a lot of mental constraints more than physical constraints. And I think this generation, the children here now, will probably really be the generation that will take India to the next level, Bharat to the next level. I think by 2047, we will probably be the largest or the second largest economy in the whole world. And not only that, we would be a country that would be a guiding light for the whole world. Even today, our views, our ideas are considered very, very seriously in the world fora. And it is all due to people of merit. Please mark my words, people of merit. People who are rooted in our culture, people who are rooted in our Sanskriti, and people who believe in the eternal values of Bharat. Because the values which Bharat believes in, the values which Bharat imbibes, the values which Bharat is rooted in are eternal values. These values do not change over time, and that is why Bharat has been eternal for the last 10,000 years. 10,000 years at least. We may be told that, yeah, the Vedas were written 2,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, and that is basically to for the West to say that nothing is older than 3,000 years, because their history, the Old Testament, starts 3,500 years ago. But we go much, much beyond that. So, coming back to this, why this little literary festival? My generation did not have the benefit of this kind of event, this kind of exposure to who we are, who we were, and where we come from. Remember, a tree grows tall and strong only when it is rooted in the right soil, only when it is given the right kind of nourishment, and then the tree grows big and strong. I think I must confess that my generation did not have that benefit of rootedness in our own culture, in our own Sanskriti. And it is, I don't like to blame, but a lot of people need to be blamed, including parents. But I am very happy that the schools have found it fit to send a few of the children from their schools to participate in this program that we have kind of curated. We need to see that the number here becomes 10 times, 20 times what we have here today. And we need to take it to not just Coimbatore, but there are other places other than Coimbatore where we need children to benefit by this. I come from, most of my life I lived in Chennai, but from 2005 I've been in Coimbatore. And Coimbatore is a place that has made a huge difference to me in my professional career, in my belief systems, and the culture that is so evident in this place. You will not find a place so culturally strong, so dignified place anywhere in India. And so I think Coimbatore is my kind of home to me mentally, spiritually, and I'm very happy to be here. I thank all participants who come here. I thank all the eminent people who are going to engage the children here, and I hope that you will all go away as better children. You will all go away with an understanding of who we are, and that is very, very important. This whole thing was conceived by Jagan and Saravan, and all congratulations to them, and they have been the driving force behind with the Veranda Club, and we get our advice, our blessings, our guidance from Professor Kanak Sabapati, who is the chairman of the Veranda Club. So we are a small team, but we have big ideas, and we look forward to continued support from all of you. And when children like you grow up, we require you also to support such initiatives which showcase our culture, our Sanskriti. So I will not hold you any further, and I thank all of you for being here, and thank you very much, and have a great new Gregorian year. Okay, thank you very much. And yeah, the last word. I think me, my family, everybody believes deeply in Lord Rama. It has been a tradition for 5 generations to believe in Lord Rama. We believe that whatever we are is due to Lord Rama. And my great-grandfather, P.S. Krishnaswamy, translated the Valmiki Ramayana in 1932, and it was in 9 volumes. So I don't know much of Tamil, and I certainly don't know Sanskrit. I am the Macaulay generation. Okay, very, very sad, but we have these 9 volumes here, and it is my belief and very strong belief that Rama will take care of us. Raman Parthupan. It doesn't mean that we don't have to do our duty and we can sit in a corner and relax. We need to do what our duty, our responsibility is. But without the blessings of Rama, nothing can go on. And so, I think the prayer song, I think Jagan knows about me, and I think he designed the prayer song to sing about Lord Rama. It kind of moved me emotionally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for that insightful address. Moving on. She is an IITian, author of 6 books, and Sri Shakti Awardee, assistant professor at Chanakya University, curator, Indica Books. I now invite Srimati Sai Swarupa Iyer, curator, Lit Tales, to address the gathering.
Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha, Shri Matre Namaha. Suprabhatam, everyone, and welcome you for sparing your weekend to gather here and celebrate letters, celebrate words, celebrate literature, culture, and have a lot of fun together while keeping alive the spirit of Bharat. So welcome, everyone. Firstly, I should thank the wonderful people behind this institution. It was different air as soon as we entered this beautiful campus, and the beauty was just enhanced listening to the chants from the children from Anadi Foundation. Thank you so much. So we are going to have a event-filled 2 days together, immersive sessions, small panel discussions, and sessions where each of you get to participate and totally immerse yourself in the beauty of Indian literature. We are going to have Vijayana telling you stories. We are going to have very immersive dance sessions by Padma Shri Awardee Anandaka. And we are going to have thoughtful, insightful sessions by G.V. Shivakumaranna. And I hope to engage you with all listening to stories. I think we'll get to build stories. We will get to nurture our imagination. That's going to happen tomorrow. And we'll also listen to Ishani Akka's, is she here? Okay, so, she has a very unique form of storytelling, and once you're exposed to all these storytellings, we'll build our own stories. And on the occasion of Puthandu in April, we'll flag off a reading competition where you get to read books of your choice, and we get to discuss those books and keep the light of reading on. And by the next second edition of Lit Tales, we hope to unveil books written by you. So we hope to inspire you not just to read, but also build the magic of stories, magic that is rooted coming from the soil of Bharat. So I'll not hold you back any longer. Let's start the day. Thank you. Shri Matre Namaha.
Thank you, ma'am. We now move on to a panel discussion entitled Reading Amongst the Young Minds. And our panelists are Muneet Diman, an educationist and a speaker on the subject matter of education, parenting, sustainability, and system design. He is the founder of Kulapati of Vidya Kshetra Gurukulam in Bangalore, a non-residential Panchakosha-based Gurukulam for the current times. Our next panelist is Sri Vijay Kumar, who is the founder of India Pride Project, a citizen-led initiative to recover India's stolen deities. He is an expert of Indian art and iconography. He is extensively studied and documented the Indic art of Southeast Asia. He assists India and global law enforcement agencies and governments in Nepal, Cambodia on capacity building to deter the illicit trafficking of antiquities. Our next panelist is G.V. Shivakumar. He is a Guru Sadhaka Sachiva at Indica, responsible to build programs and engagement that serve gurus, enable change makers, and help build dharmic ecosystems in Bharat. This panel will be moderated by Srimati Sai Swarupa Iyer.
Namaste again. Honored to be sharing stage with scholars, initiative takers of the caliber of the three gentlemen you see on the dais. So, before I start opening up, question to all of the young minds here. How many books you have read in the past year? More than 10? More than 10? Wow. Between 5 and 10? Nice. 3 and 5? Nice. Hey, I am not counting the science and social studies textbooks and all, okay? Huh? You should have read something beyond the school textbooks. Nice. So that brings me to the first question of my the panel today. What do you find the differences between reading in our generation, say 20 years back, 20, 30 years back, how reading used to be inculcated, and the way reading is, prevalent today amongst the younger generation? So shall we go?
அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். ஸ்கூல் மாதிரி இருக்கு. எல்லா குட் மார்னிங் சொன்னதான் சொன்னீங்களா? குட் மார்னிங். அப்பா இப்பதான் ஸ்கூலுக்கு வந்த மாதிரி இருக்கு. Thank you everyone, and I think it's an enormously important initiative. Half the time when we give talks, we always want to see a crowd like this. உங்களை போல தான் நாங்களும் கடைசி பெஞ்சில் தான் உட்காந்து படித்தோம். I'm seeing a lot of kids coming to the front row, which itself is very good. Most of the time I spent in my school library, because that's where the books I wanted to read were. Because I was a fast reader. Exam ku mundhe naal dhaan padipen school book. What we need to understand from you is what kind of books are being presented to you. I think that is what is to be addressed. Because I was talking to a very senior author, columnist, Malan sir. I asked him what were the books that were of interest to him. He talked about Somerset Maugham and, okay, the usual stuff. If you ask me, I would say Merchant of Venice, Alexander Dumas and all that. But what we missed, and what sir, when he first did the introduction, he said that generation was not privileged. I think that generation was very privileged because they had their grandmothers. I think Paati sonna kadada for all of us was the introduction to our Itihasas, Puranas, ethics. And later that role was taken by Amachitra Kada. Na Puranangal padithadila vandu kidathata or 80% was from Amachitra Kada only. And that will what I'll be showing in my presentation. And I think we owe a lot to the storytelling tradition of this great land, which unfortunately has stopped. The traveling bards were the ones, our heritage, our history was never written. It was an oral tradition that we committed to memory. Today we can't even remember our mobile phone numbers. I think that's where we have to address it, in the sense that get the reading habit and get to read the right books.
So Sai Swarupa ji asked one question about the books. I will ask another question. First of all, everybody understands English here? Is there anybody who does not understand English? I don't have any other option anyhow. So I cannot speak Tamil. My question is, how many of us have seen at least 100 videos last year? It's in front of us, all of us almost. Okay, 200 videos at least. See, there are how many days in a year? Good. So if we take one video per day, how many of us would have seen more than 365 videos in a year? At least half the hands are up. So, no, it's good. It's good. See, videos are very exciting. I also watch some. The only difference we have to understand between the video and the book, then we will appreciate a little bit more. When we are watching a video, only our senses are involved. It's a sensorial. Are we together? Yes? Aloud, yes? Okay. When we are watching a video, our sensorial impressions, it is just a sensory, it's a passive activity. Yeah? But when we read, people who were raising their hand, very few, only 10 or 15 hands went up when Sai Swarupaji asked how many of us have read 5 books, and plus maybe 20 students. When you read a book, your mind gets engaged. Because your eyes are getting engaged and your mind is getting engaged. That's why people, can you raise your hand who were reading books? Okay. 5 books last year. 5 books last year. So people who have read the books, do you remember it even after 1 year? Yes or no? Very low yes again. Yes? No? Yes. But once you have seen a video 1 year ago, if I ask you, what was there in that video which you saw in 365 days before, you won't even remember which video you saw. Yes or no? Yes. Because mind is passively engaged when we are watching a video, but very actively engaged when we are reading. Because you cannot read one sentence without understanding it. But you can watch many videos, chal raha hai. Many times we are also playing in parallel. We are doing something else. We are sometimes even doing our homework and the video is going on. Yes? So it's very important to understand that if we want to retain something for longer, reading is a very, very good habit to develop. Watching a video, it gives us an impression that, oh, I saw many videos and I learnt a lot, but we hardly retain much for a longer period of time.
Namaste, Vanakkam, good morning everybody. So happy to be in this beautiful city of Coimbatore. Like our dignitary mentioned, every time I come here, I clearly see that the dharmika tejas on the prominent people in Coimbatore is much, much higher on an average basis when compared to any other city. Coming from Karnataka, Bangalore, Mysore, I am admitting this, that Coimbatore dignitaries have a much higher dharmika tejas. While having so much of industrial pursuits and so on. So coming to this very important question, what is the difference in the reading habits between our generation and the current generation? So Munit half answered my question. There is a lot more distraction and other avenues in our times. So in our times we have videos and you have so many other performances and so on and so forth. And that alone is not the difference. The difference is that the opportunity to spend time today is in such a manner that it eats away into the capability to read. That is the difference. It's not that in our times everybody was reading. Only few read, or everybody read, but nobody had, opportunities to spend time in a manner that killed reading as a habit. It was neutral. People listened to stories, watched, theater performances, watched Bharatanatyam. None of that eats away into the reading habit. Rather, it is complementary and contributing. But today, children have a lot more distraction. I can myself feel when I watch a video, which I don't like actually, contrary to many people, I'm still a text boy. I love reading. Even if I watched a video, then I will want to read the transcript of that video. That is the extent to which I love reading. Because the sense of fullness that you get in reading, you will not get in any other medium. So that said, nature ensures that the percentage of readers are remaining the same at all times. But ensuring that we have other pursuits, other opportunities complementing the reading is how the civilization grew for a very long time. Let's remember that books are selling massively today. So people are reading. So it's not that people are not reading. But what they read, etc., is controlled by, other pursuits that we have. So we have to reorganize our pursuits in such a manner that the overall reading quotient is higher. And that's where the schools can play a significantly important role. One, we spoke of grandmothers at home. Two, even at school, if in our class, in English, our teachers started one practice. No chapter was read by the teacher. Every chapter was made to read by every student. So the practice was that you will read a paragraph, the next boy will read another paragraph, so on and so forth. So the entire class, even if it has to repeat the chapter, would read everything. Not just that, then everybody else would be vigilant and note down what mistakes were done. And then, without trying to be hurtful, would point out. So this practice, I attended this practice full 2 years in one of the schools. This was so beautiful that it lifted up the overall reading abilities of every student. So in our times, we just need to compensate it with other practices which may not have been necessary in the past.
Thank you. That's wonderful insights for all of us to process. And now that brings me to my next question. We've discussed reading as a habit. Now I want to get into the choices of reading. So guys, who said you have read around 10 books last year? Can I have the hands up again? Oh, thank you. So the girl in the gray dress here? Yep. What's your favorite book of whatever you have read? Sorry? Sheikh Chili. What's that? I'm so sorry. I'm so, out of date with, what is it about? Thank you. It's about a young boy who faces difficulties and overcomes them, I hope. That's wonderful. Any other answer? What's your name? What's your name? Tarika. Thank you, Tarika. Any other answer? Yeah. Harry Potter. Wow. That's one series which has been commanding our imagination from my generation to your generation. So, what do you like about Harry Potter? What's your name? Sorry? Hari Kumaran. So, Harit Kumaran. Okay, what is it that you like about Harry Potter, Harit? Wow. So, essentially, both are hero stories. You know? Yes, yes. So, I think, can you help me? To the two people who, yeah. So, the more you participate, the more number of goodies you get to take home. Okay? See, now I see the hands moving up. So, yes, we hope to cover. So we will hope to cover more and more. So yes, please stay attentive. Please answer and take some goodies home. So that brings me to the next question. When we were reading, right, I think whether we read stories or non-fiction, knowledge and moral, that was at the back of our mind, and even when our parents suggested what to read, I think what to take away from the book formed a huge part of the reading decisions. Whereas it has come to the stage now where the engagement, right, the two examples we had are of young hero stories where, so is there a subtle change in the last 30 years in the reading choices? And yep, I'd like leave it open for your insights.
Well, I think the generation before me, for example, I don't see many people of that generation. I think after Ponniyin Selvan, I think that was the biggest impact of that generation. I think a lot of people named their kids Nandini after the heroine there. And we are not talking after Aishwarya Rai, the original Nandini. Yeah. Yes. And I think my personal choices, I would say that I was inspired by a very important Pallava ruler, Rajasimha Pallava. He was a vain man. He had 244 titles, Birudas. One of it was Atyanta Kama, king with unlimited fantasies. So my advice, and now that I've become on this part, I can give advice. Read extensively, don't be restricted by genres. I would pick up autobiographies and biographies. I think that's what is lacking in India. We are always looking at the Western world, Japan for industrialization and Europe for economics and America for making money. I think there's like in this very town, we've had great stalwarts, industrialists. We have not had many such life stories coming out of our homegrown experts that can inspire us. And yeah, the young boy overcoming challenges. I would say that if you ask me when I was that age, who my heroes were, there were two, Karna and Abhimanyu. Because, both of them, again, the media, Shivaji Ganesan as Karna, of course helped. But then I think what we need to look at is the morals were not told as moral science. They were intertwined with our Puranas and Itihasas. So that it was like sugarcoating the pill. I'm saying somebody tells me don't do this, don't do that. At that age and even now I would do it. So I think we have to learn from our, we have to encourage, and I'm happy that you've said that they will all start writing. And I hope we get to see a compilation that is inspired by Bharat, by Indianness, rather than ape the West. Thank you.
So one question that comes to my mind when I'm thinking about the answer to this question, that what is that we read and what are children reading today? See, let me ask you another question. That will maybe, it's very important that we establish the need for certain types of reading. Today, as Shivu, we are very close friends from many years. So what Shivu Kumar mentioned, that the amount of books available today are aplenty. Somebody has read Harry Potter. I too also read it when my class students were reading it. It was important for me to know what they are reading. So So there are a lot of books today available for us to read. The choices are aplenty, and what should we read is a big question that comes in front of us. Before answering that, we should understand. I will ask you some questions and you answer, and then we will arrive at that answer together. Do we want to have focus in whatever we do? Who all wants to be focused? Please raise your hand. Okay. Almost everybody. Some, I think the students sitting behind, are you 11th and 12th grade students? Is there anybody from 11th and 12th grade here? Please keep your hands up. Okay. 10th grade students, grade 10, grade 9, okay, grade 8, okay, grade 7, 6. I'm not making you do exercise, okay? So, grade 5, okay, grade 4, okay, okay, it's good. I get a sense, whom I'm interacting with. So, many times we hear from our parents and teachers, correct? Stay focused. Yes or no? Can somebody say what does that focus mean actually? What do we mean by staying focused? Yes. Yes, doing something without any distraction. Okay, very good. Yeah.
That girl should get double prize.
To be? I'm sorry, I'm not able to hear. See, if I speak without mic, am I audible? Scream then, on top of your voice. Yeah, so concentration is one nature of being focused. No, not getting distracted is another. What is another? Somebody can say one more quality or which goes along with being focused. Yes. We should. We should be attentive while we are. So that's a part of being focused. See, all of you are correct. Is there an element of duration also? I can be attentive for 1 minute. I can be also not distracted for 1 minute. Yeah, I can be also not distracted for 1 minute. Yes? But a very important point we have to understand of being focused includes being attentive for a certain period of time. Yes or no? At least half an hour, at least an hour. Because only if you are sitting for half an hour and for hour is something can go inside. Yeah. But if I ask you another question, how many of us watch reels? Yeah. And shorts. Believe me, Shivu Anna sitting here and myself, we have developed technologies for videos. Sorry for that. When we were in our IT industry background behind, we have developed, and those technologies are built in a manner that brings distractions because it tunes our mind to be less focused. Why? You have seen how many times the screen changes when we are watching the reels. Within that 1 minute reel also so many times it's changing, and the reel itself changes in 1 minute. Yes or no? Today we are seeing so many students in our Gurukula who come for admission or we meet outside. They have, attention deficit. They are attention deficit. That means they cannot hold their focus for even a minute. And the main reason to do that is, behind that is reels and, mobile phones. We are continuously watching. Now you might say, we like it so much. Yeah, we like so many things, but whatever we do, the result also comes along with it. Yes or no? Yes. So if we want to be focused, as you all raised your hand, you also should know how to become focused. Yeah, and to avoid things what what create problems in that focus. Another point, very, very important point. Do you see environment around us is getting destroyed? Yes. How many of us feel environment around us is getting destroyed? Okay. Is there any river that goes through Coimbatore or nearby? Srivani. Sadhguru, who is so close from here, he started Save River program. Yes or no? How many of you know there was a program like that? Save River. River Kaveri especially. Yes? It is very unfortunate that we are destroying our mountains. So beautiful mountains. When we go to hill stations, we like it. Yes? Similarly, rivers. For drinking water, we need rivers. We are destroying our rivers also. Why? Has anybody ever tried to think on that point? Yes. Why are we destroying our rivers? Yes. Vaibhav. Perfect. One part of the answer that I was looking for, Vaibhav gave. Another I will quickly give. The sand that we are taking from the river bed, while we are constructing, it is destroying the rivers. Third reason, when we teach geography at Vidyakshetra, we take children to where Talakaveri. Have you heard Talakaveri? Near Kurg, where river Kaveri starts. It's a very beautiful place. Very beautiful place. There are beautiful Western Ghat mountains, mist through and through with beautiful clouds. When you are walking, some small droplets are falling on your face. It feels very cold on your face. Lush green, very serene, and there is a beautiful small temple of Mata Kaveri over there. A nice pond which is full of crystal clear water. Crystal clear. You can actually see the bottom of the pond because that's where river Kaveri is starting. And people are coming there in hundreds and thousands to worship river Kaveri. Then we take the same students to Bhagamandala, very beautiful place again. 2 tributaries of river Kaveri meet. And we all took bath in it. It's again very fresh. There is a big Shiva temple next to that, Triveni, where 3 tributaries meet in Bhagamandala. Then all of us go to Mysore. Has anybody gone to Mysore from this group? Oh, lot of. You have seen Krishnaraj Sagar Dam? Yes? Beautiful dam made more than 100 years ago by an exceptionally good engineer, Vishweshwaraya ji. And the whole water expanse like an ocean. Kaveri looks very beautiful over there also. Then we go to Srirangapatna. Srirangapatna is a temple town where Ranganath Swami temple is there on the bank of river Kaveri. Again, very beautiful place. You know where we go after that? There is a town called Bidadi. Anybody has heard Bidadi? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is just next to Bangalore. Entire Bangalore's sewage. The whole Bangalore sewage from big apartments, big houses is collected, thrown into a river in Bangalore, which was a river. Now it's the biggest sewage. It's called Vrishabhavati. What a beautiful name. Vrishabhavati. Because it was actually originating from a mountain in Bangalore where Lord Shiva's temple is there. It still does. It comes from there. But the whole Bangalore sewage is dumped in Vrishabhavati, and Vrishabhavati meets river Kaveri in Bidadi. So children are shocked. Yeah. So we have to understand, when we read, we have to understand what was India's culture, what was Bharat's culture, which preserved our rivers. Where we, today also when we put Tilaka, we say Gange cha, Yamune chaiva, Godavari, Saraswati, Narmada, Sindhu, Kaveri, Jalesmin, Sannidhim Kuru. Who would like to get Kaveri Nadi with whole sewage of Bangalore on our, we don't know. So we gave names to all the rivers of Mother, Mother Ganga, Mother Kaveri, Tai. So this is the culture. So if we want to read, if we want this culture in us, we have to read certain types of books. If we want today's culture, where we are destroying our environment, the result is destruction. So what we are reading, what goes in, comes out. Yeah, very simple to understand.
Thanks. So, the question was, what is influencing the reading choices of today as opposed to reading choices of our generation? So, the key difference between at least people who are born in 70s like me, life changed after 90. Our choices were a lot more influenced by what was happening at home than outside. Because television came to Bangalore in the year 1981 and it became big after 1986. So not before that was the external world able to influence us. And after that, every year it is increasing, it's doubling every year, the external world influence. That is number one. Number two, the Artha Kama world will always have a greater hold on our mind than Dharma Moksha world. This is a universal truth. Now the external world is influencing the Artha Kama world a lot more. So our reading choices will also be more, we need more thrillers. So a lot more detective novels will sell than something else. Which is nothing wrong in it, That's the way human mind is and that's the way life will be forever. But there is a difference that till the age of 12, the Shraddha of a child is still open to be influenced. So you influence a child very well till the age of 12. So my mother had taught me Ramayana and Mahabharata before age 10. So I knew a part of it, by heart. I could narrate the story. Then my reading choices subsequently will be significantly different. So you lose the opportunity to influence a child till the age of 12. So in our school, textbooks were also very good, thankfully. We had a Basavanna Vachana, a Purandaradasa Kirtana, and so on and so forth. And then you learnt Veda Mantra chanting. They chanted Medha Sukta. Now, if you have learnt Medha Sukta before age 12, you will become a significantly different human being. If you get to watch a tree and enjoy its beauty for 1 hour before the age of 12, your reading choices after that will be significantly different because your sense of Saundarya is going to be very different. So, reading choice. Now, we cannot stop the external world to influence us. There is no other, we cannot wish it away. Not another 100 years, 200 years. Especially when technology has evolved to such an extent. You cannot cut off the kid at home. Then, our responsibility is much higher to design textbooks, engagement programs, practices in such a manner that Arjuna's story, the fact that he looks at the tree and sees only the eye of the bird, a student even hears that story, the inspiration, that one gains is of another order. So the responsibility on all of us to use till age 12 to develop a shraddha that influences reading choices beyond is immense. And that's what we need to focus on.
Thank you. So I think I took, there were more takeaway points in the last round, like, from more than a couple of panel discussions that I have heard, in many lit fests. That's so much for us to process and take home. And Munikji mentioned about the reels and the focus disorders that we face, right? So I read a book. This is one book which I think at least the 8th graders and upwards should read. It is called Stolen Focus by John Harry, where there is, he mentioned about research process. So one university, I'm very bad at remembering names, I think it's Columbia University, it conducted a study. 3 groups of people were chosen. One group of people was given 2-3 books of their choice, nice books to read for the next 8 hours. Okay? Second group was given 3 movies to watch. I wish they had chosen me for the second movie. Okay. And the third group was told to say, you like social media, you like reels and shorts, for the next 8 hours, keep on watching whatever shorts and reels and Instagram, videos that you want. And at the end of 8 hours, their ability to focus was studied. Those who read the books, they were not reading for, continuous 8 hours, but that's the only mindful activity that they did. The ability to focus had increased, and this movie group, surprisingly, because they could follow a story or a character from end to end, right? Their ability to focus had it had either slightly increased or slightly remained the same. Eyes, I cannot say. 8 hours of movie watching is not good for eyes, but mind was more or less, activity was more or less, the same. The group which kept on watching this 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute shorts, right? They couldn't even speak politely at the end of 8 hours. In the sense, focusing on the other person next to you and speaking properly, right? So that 8 hours of scrolling social media or videos, that damaged the attention power. It damaged the ability to interact, forget about understanding or anything. So with that kind of social media, now, we've just have countless number of portals. Our generation is used to Twitter. I think most of us have grown past Facebook, thankfully. Now it's Insta, TikTok, I don't know what all are coming right now. So, given that challenges are growing, and as Shivu mentioned, it's not, we can't keep fighting it. We can't protect our children forever from it. So, how do we, how do we balance out these challenges along with and nurture this reading as a habit? And I'd mentioned that Muniji's school, the students, they keep reading a lot of books, and their knowledge is like really great for their age. So I'm waiting to hear his insights on how he's inculcating, and so shall we?
I would say Tamil kalavam katramara அப்படினு சொல்லுவாங்க. So I would rather not be a very tame person. I would rather not experiment too much. And I think what we should do is we should not be averse to technology. Be like a Annapakshi. Take the good and leave the rest. Be widely read. I would not want any of you to become nerds. You have to be, like in college, someone wrote me a note saying better to be a master of distress than a man of peace. In today's world, ரொம்ப பாவமா இருந்தாலும் ஏச்சிட்டு போயிடுவாங்க. So be a Kshatriya, be a fighter. When I say fight, literally get into fights. At your age, you have to fight your way up. And for that, read a lot. Read a lot of diverse things. Read a lot of non-detail. Read a lot of detail as well. Remember what you have read. Try to read about people who have succeeded. Also read about people who have failed. And learn and take your own lessons. If we tell you to do something, you won't do. இங்கெல்லாம் தலையாட்டுவீங்க பேனா கிடைக்கும்னு. But end of the day, it's your life. You will have to make it a success. And unless you are a fighter, you will not succeed. And for you to be a fighter, do you want to learn from your mistakes or from others' mistakes? And I think if you are smart enough, you will learn from others' mistakes. Read a lot of fiction, read a lot of non-fiction, read a lot in your mother tongue. I'm always for somebody who should read a lot of interesting works in Tamil are there. நல்ல தமிழ் பேச வரும். அது நீங்கள் கொங்கு பெல்ட்டில் இருக்கீங்க, உங்கள் தமிழே ஒரு அழகான தமிழ். தமிழில் படிங்க, இங்கிலீஷ்லையும் படிங்க, தமிழ்லையும் படிங்க. ரெண்டு கண், தமிழையோ ஒதுக்கிட்டோ இல்லை இங்கிலீஷில் படித்து. I lived outside India for 15 years, so I can speak with an accent if you want. And நல்ல தமிழில் பேசுறதுக்கு ஒரு ஆக்சென்ட் இருக்குது. நான் சென்னை, அதனால் கொஞ்சம் பார்த்து பேசுகிறேன். என் மெட்ராஸ் பாஷை வந்துடும் உள்ள. ஆல்வேஸ் ரீட் டைவர்ஸ்ட் ஒன்ஸ். அதே மாதிரி உங்கள் ஸ்கூலில் வந்து பெஸ்ட்டு, எங்களெல்லாம் புக்கு முடிஞ்சு போச்சு, 200 புக்கு வாங்கினாங்களா, படித்து முடிச்சிடணும் அந்த மாதிரி. ஸோ த மோர் யூ ரீட், த வைடர் யூ கெட். Similarly, don't get drawn into one field. That you can do after you get a job. Thank you.
So 2 points I will like to address, Sai Swarupa ji. One is that how students in Vidya Kshetra are encouraged to read. See, if you ask me how many books they read, maybe not too many. But they are open to varied subjects, as Vijayana also told. They are open to learning. I think that's the fundamental point that we need to all cultivate. Why do one read, certain subject? It is because I am interested in knowing about it. Yes or no? Yes. Only if I am interested in knowing about that subject, we will read. So it's very important as adults, as teachers, as parents, we develop interest in children to know about certain topic. If we are not having the environment speaking about that interest, it won't happen. Now I will take one example of my own life. Our history books, what I read when I was in school, always taught me that India lost, so many battles. It starts all the way from Panipat, and then, the list is never ending. We kept losing battles, and, so much of area was occupied, and then Mughals came, attacked, then, Turks came, attacked, and Britishers came. Before that, French came, Portuguese came, and we lost all the battles. Yes, our history books are full of all that, data and information. It became quite boring for me to read. History was one of the most boring subjects in school. How many of us feel the same? Yeah? Now, believe me, today it's the most interesting subject for me. Now, what happened in this process, we should understand. So, when I was teaching, I developed interest in knowing about India, of course, but also about Persia, Mesopotamia, Egypt, Greece, Rome, and there are such wonderful books that were available. How have some of us read Battle of Troy? There is a book about Battle of Troy. Okay, Odyssey. Okay, has somebody read about Greek culture or Greek history? Okay, couple of hands, 3-4 hands going. Egypt, Mesopotamia. Does anybody know where is Mesopotamia? Where is Mesopotamia? Iraq. Very good. Very good. Where is Persia? Where is Persia? Iran. Yes. Today's Iran is what was Persia before. Now, when I started reading, one question came to my mind, Persia, which was again 5,000, 6,000 years old recorded history, in a span of few hundred years, it was destroyed, and today it is completely, converted, or it's Islam, it's Iran today, yes? Another question that came to my mind was Mesopotamia, which was known for its big architecture, huge marvels, they had a river called Tigris and Euphrates, and they created cities like Babylon and Ur and Urs. These type of huge cities were built on the bank of the rivers. Where is it today? Nothing is remaining. It's completely destroyed, and it is Iraq. Egypt, we have heard about pyramids, architectural marvel. Each and every stone slab that goes into a pyramid weighs 2,000 kgs. It's 2 tons, each stone slab. How they would have done it? 450 feet tall pyramids. Something brilliant civilizational aspects would have been there. Where is Egypt today? Pyramids are remaining in some manner, but the whole civilization is destroyed. The same has happened with Greece. Yeah? We have heard about Athens, we have heard about, so many cities in Greek culture. Everything has got, changed to, today the whole Greek is Christian country. It's not, there is no more Greek culture over there. And then when I was reading all these details, one question came to my mind: if we lost all the battles, how come, India is still India? Yeah. Then I started reading history of India again, but from people and books which were beautifully written, genuinely written for students and children of our country to understand the correct history of our country. There are such wonderful writers, if you have pen and papers, you can quickly jot down some names. There is a person called Vikram Sampath. There is Meenakshi Jain, Sandeep Balakrishna, Sanjeev Sanyal. Okay. Vikram Sampath, Meenakshi Jain, Sandeep Balakrishnan, Sanjeev Sanyal, Sahana Singh ji, Sai Deepak ji, Shubh Vilas, Sudha Murthy ji, and all of you would have read Amar Chitra Kathas, correct? Yeah? Anybody here who has not read Amar Chitra Katha, please raise your hand. You should read. Yeah? There are many nice books which are giving good history of our country. Okay? So read those books, you will know that we won also many battles. It's not that we lost all the battles. In fact, there are such wonderful fighters like Baji Rao, who fought 46 battles and didn't lose even a single battle. Vijayanagar Samrajya, kingdoms from our Tamil Nadu, from Kerala, from Assam, a home dynasty. We won so many battles, So we should learn about those also, and it kindled my interest to learn about history. And that is what made me read more and more. And so once the interest is raised, that, the question comes in mind, I want to know about my country. I want to know about our culture. Why so many thousands of people visited India to learn in India? Isn't it a good question to answer? How will you know answer to it? You have to read. You have to find books which are giving details about this part. So that interest once we raise, that's how Shivu Anna, he teaches in Vidyakshetra Civilizational Studies, and he can give you 10 more authors. He is so well read. It's very inspiring for me also to learn from him. So when he teaches in Vidyakshetra, he's shocked that, children were able to read very tough books. So the content and volume is not very high, but the interest to learn is very high. Yeah? So please raise your interest, have questions for which you want to find answers. Yeah? And then get guided to read books in that direction. Thank you.
Thanks, Munir. So the key thing here is that the language ability is listening, speaking, reading, and writing. That is the order in which our ability develops. So if we want our reading ability to be high, then it is critical that we are listening and speaking sufficiently also. So if you're listening to a lot of lectures, if you're listening to very good speakers, very good material, if you're listening to good stories being told, then your interest to read, it will have a factor of contribution. So that is point number one. Point number two is that fundamentally, we will all read according to our Swadharma. So, having those diverse options of reading in comparison to what exists today that comes from outside is another dimension. So if we want to increase the quotient, then we have to focus on, ensuring that there is a wider spectrum of reading material available than in the past in order to compete with what's coming from outside. The third dimension is that there are practices outside of language practices that will contribute to reading processes. Any student that learns shloka chanting, Veda chanting, performative arts of Indian tradition will definitely have a higher order quotient of reading. This is my experience. These kids are going to be, much better readers. I have never seen a Veda learning person not reading. Indian tradition already organizes a lot of performative practices in such a manner that it is contributing towards reading. Shloka chanting and dhyana, meditation, the more we empty our mind, the more we are open to do new things, and reading is a consequence of that. So all of this, which was naturally available to us at one point in time, now needs to be reorganized and presented to students through the new school curriculum. And that is the redesign that we have to do.
Thank you. And thank you for participating, students. The panelists will be available around. I'd encourage you to catch them for questions. We are pressed for time, so I'm not really allowing a Q&A session here. We have to proceed to our next sessions. Last words from
My most favorite book is Ramayana. Most favorite book. And when I was young, I read some, but last 10 years, when I have started reading and going deeper and deeper, believe me, all the guidance that we want in our life, all the answers that we want, we will find in that book. Yeah? Beautiful stories are there, very, very beautiful stories of interaction between Ram and Bharata, the brother relationship between Lakshmana, Bharata and Rama and Shatrughna, between husband and wife, Ram and Sita, the battle between good and evil, yeah, Kshatratva, what Vijayana was talking about. So all these aspects are nicely covered. So I encourage you all to read Ramayana and Mahabharata, and from right sources. So ask if you know some people around you that which Ramayana and Mahabharata we should read. You should go and read those Ramayana and Mahabharata only. Don't read any Ramayana, any Mahabharata from anyone. Yeah, there are many people writing today, but we have to be very sure of whose Ramayana and Mahabharata are we reading.
with that, facilitation.
With that, we come to the close of that very interactive panel discussion with lots of goodies going around. As a token of appreciation, we would like to present mementos. May I request Sri Sundar Ramachandran to present a memento to Sri Muneet Diman.